We should get Jerry to go with him. Call him.
Jerry doesn't have a bike down here.
Oh.
I guess his bike's burned up.
I'm sorry for yelling. Wah, 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 wah.
Sorry for what?
Yelling.
Amos said that.
Mm-hmm.
He said, wah, wah, wah.
Ah, it already started. I don't know how that happened. She left us here. Well, I didn't know I had started it. I was getting ready to do a live video 30 minutes ago. It was totally quiet. No one in this house was awake. And then within 5 minutes, it was like Michael Jackson's video where the zombies come up out of the ground, meaning my family members. My husband is going on a bike ride, and my middle two are going upstairs to, what are they doing? Oh, cook breakfast. And so this is a kind of a thing. Like, they want me to cook breakfast. And I do cook breakfast, typically on like a Sunday morning. But I was like, I'm gonna do a video, and then I'm going to work on my book edits. Probably set up on the beach and work on my book edits, because I have to get those done. Where do you send the address? To kissmytail@gmail.com, Holly. Holly won last night. Congrats. First person you saw was Big Thomas. I know, I see evidence of him everywhere. Here's a wet bathing suit. We're kind of at this point in the summer where people just leave their mess everywhere. And then I'm at the point where I don't say anything, and then I yell at everybody. Last week I yelled at them in the car. Mm-hmm. I mean, I let them have it, which is not like me. But you know how you just, my cup has a crack in it. You just like reach your limit. I'd reached my limit. Hey, Natasha. Hey, Sarah. You ready for the school routine? Well, the Wood family is clearly not ready for the school routine because we all wake up around 11. You don't see me on YouTube. I'm there right now. How do I set privacy on YouTube? I don't know. Google is your friend. I do know that. Time to go back to school. Aaron, hey, Gina. Yeah. Gosh, but getting up at 7 is gonna, why? I put a poll up with my YouTube to become a member to my channel because I don't know how to put up a comment and pin it. So it's bad to admit that. If you're watching YouTube, you need to like the video. There's some 3 dots you push evidently, and subscribe to my page, which is free. Yeah, so this week is a big week. My son Thomas gets home. Do I prefer you watch on Facebook or YouTube? I would say YouTube. I would say YouTube. If I cancel my subscription on Facebook, can I still be a member of the Joy Group? No, not because it's me. I think sometimes people think I'm in charge of Facebook. I'm not. That group is for people that belong to Facebook. I can't do anything about it. So anyway, I'm gonna just delete that. This should be the Mingber link. You figured out how to comment on YouTube again last night. Well, there you go. Oh, Thomas, there was a shooting in Iowa last night.
Where?
In Iowa? At an outdoor concert?
Really?
I didn't know about that. Do you show that I've joined as a member? No, Bet. We're gonna have I even tried, I worked really hard. So my subscribers, I do these subscriber chats. And my friend Kate Swinson was like, well, why don't you try to do it through StreamYard? Maybe you can get it to work. Because you can go live on StreamYard and then get through Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So I worked really hard, and it was like, would not, I can't do it on Facebook. Facebook says that I'm in a cooling off period from too many violations, but I tell you, I don't believe that. I really worry it's a glitch, which is not good. But if I'm in a cooling off period, hey, welcome, Bet. Look at there. Now I see you. If I'm in a cooling off period, maybe it's 30 days, maybe it's 60, maybe it's 90. Yes, I can see it now, Bet. It's a pain. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but you just cannot. Facebook is at high alert, and my assumption is it's going to be at high alert through the election. So I like to talk about candidates, particularly North Carolina candidates. I got a text yesterday from a teacher friend, and she was telling me, she said basically, we have a ton of long-term subs as teachers at our school now, and which we're thankful to have them, but long-term subs don't have to have a teaching degree, a college degree, anything. They're long-term subs. And when my kids started school, back in public school, I mean, it was hard to get a job as a first grade teacher, you know, and it's a real worry that now we can't get teachers. So the question is, why? You know, my daughter Blair, who's 15 yesterday, was talking about, and it's probably what I'm going to talk about tonight actually on the video, but she was saying, well, they don't get paid enough money. That's why nobody wants to be a teacher. And I was like, well, that is sort of true. Our teachers make less than teachers in Mississippi, which is the poorest state in the country. Same in Ohio. Yeah, it's a problem. And it's why elections, particularly North Carolina, we have a fellow named Mo Green who is running for state superintendent, school superintendent, which is most states it's appointed, not an election, and running against a woman named Michelle Morrow, who basically like homeschooled for 5 minutes and thinks she's going to be in charge. And she won the primary against Catherine Truitt, which is a real worry because Catherine Truitt is at least has a degree in education. Lack of respect. That might be so. Some of the teachers who retired are going back for long-term subs. Yeah, so Mo Green, if you're in North Carolina, Mo Green and I are going to do a little get-together of some type, because I would like Mo Green to win, and I am concerned. So, anyway, I think the most important thing for people to do is vote. Get out and vote. Anyway, I'm also concerned about the governor race, which was when I got in trouble quoting Mark Robinson because he said some folks needed the K word. And then I got in trouble for inciting violence on Facebook, which is the problem. You know, if you can't quote someone, like if quoting a politician gets you thrown off a social media platform, then that politician shouldn't have a platform in the election, you know? Amos will be in 4th grade this year, and I have a meeting at school on Wednesday to talk about our plans for him. We got his teacher, and we're excited about that. She's new. She's an older teacher. I mean, she's taught a while, but she's new to our school. And he's got some of his friends in his class. One part of the book edits is, I hadn't done it yet, but my editor said, you know, you're describing this education system in your town, and this is not the experience of most people, right? Like this is not, most people don't have this good experience. So it seems like we should make sure that you're talking about that. And so I really, well, one, I was tired. I'd already done like 3 or 4 chapters of edit. So I was like, I'm not going to deal with that today. But I was thinking about it. And I was like, I need to, that's right, Holly, vote for the person, not the party. Mo Green and Josh Stein. I need to think about my answer because I would say where I live, it's not that it's been perfect, right? But it's kind of like people that have the philosophy of my glass is half full or my glass is half empty, right? And so maybe I need to bring that analogy into writing about education. Her skin is like Mexican. Well, I mean, that's not I'm not offended. What's wrong with that? So some of it has been attitude. You know, I'm trying to have the right attitude and working with my school system on what we're going to do. What's our plan? Yes, being involved in the school, Tammy. So I need to articulate that better in the book, that a lot of my good experience, and not to give myself like, oh, you're wonderful, but a lot of my good experience is because I've worked really hard on it. Don't you think calling her an older teacher is insulting or was unnecessary? Yes, Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia loves to police me. That's why, Cynthia, I was clear and said not an older teacher, but an experienced teacher, but new to our county. I don't know if you kept listening or if you just chose to be negative, because Cynthia's mantra is, my glass has never been full and my glass is full of doo-doo. Yes. Thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, because an older teacher would mean old age, where what I meant was she's been a teacher for a long time, but she's new or young to my school system. Yay, Allison, welcome. This is partly why I like the membership thing, because I can get people not on my videos that bug me. Holy cow. My mother-in-law is texting me because she is so worried we're going to have a birthday party and she's not going to get invited. She just sent me a text and said, almost party time. You made sure you said it after you called her old. I don't know if she's old or not. She very well could be younger than me. I have friends that have taught for 25 years that are younger than I am. I have no idea. I haven't met her. All I know is she's a woman and she's experienced, Cynthia. Cynthia, You might do better to go to real church instead of being over here in the morning just haranguing me. It's a sickness. It's a sickness. They can't help it. It's a sickness. She's annoying. She's a debutante. She thinks she's important, and she's not. Damn it. I do not think I'm important. If I thought I was important, I would look better. I would be thinner. I would wear bras. I wouldn't have dog hair and people with autism yelling at everybody in this family to get off the couches. Yeah, no, on Facebook, there are no moderators, but subscribers. No one I've noticed, nobody wants to pay to make mean comments. It really will. You can't put her in timeout. You can only put people in timeout on the YouTube. 1 point for YouTube. I promise you, I ban people or block them, and then they're like whack-a-mole. They pop up in another page. I have too many places. They can't help themselves. Cena, yes, I know. My nice subscribers are paying on Facebook, and they're like, I'm not getting a damn thing. This is a waste. Yeah. Elizabeth's got her tool. She's going to get rid of people. So anyway, that's a concern. What is Mo Green going to do for teachers? Well, I'm going to let Mo Green tell you. I'm going to have him on, and you can hear yourself. I think part of what I hope Mo Green does, that I know Michelle Morrow is not going to do, is that we have a General Assembly that does not, I don't think it's true. I think not everybody is like this. I think we have a lot of people in government that don't really understand how their votes are affecting small communities. And I need to get back on that, because there was a really good article, and I reached out to the state senator in another state who's Republican and said, you know, yes, I'm going to let them, he said, we've got to work across the aisle. I might be a Republican, but like vouchers are going to destroy my small communities. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I said. Cynthia said, you have plenty of bullies that don't let you have an opinion or make comments. You mean that I don't let have an opinion? Cynthia, I tell you what, would you like to come live with me on the video and tell me all your feelings? Because sometimes I feel like it's real easy to be behind the scenes. So come on live on me. Join me on the video and tell me all the reasons you don't like me and why you're here. You were leading the U.S. in top-notch education 25 years ago. Yes, Paisley, that's exactly right. Jim Hunt was governor, and he was amazing. He was amazing. Mo Green was the best superintendent Guilford County ever had. Well, that's nice to hear, Dava. So I think part of it for me is that I have to help people in state government understand how this is going to connect, right, to small towns. And I think what's happening in my small town right now with not enough teachers is a perfect thing that you could say to a representative from my community. What are you going to do about this? Do you know what's happened? Hey, Wanda. Anyway, our Tennessee governor is a strong supporter of the voucher program. Thankfully, it failed this year, but he isn't giving up. Why would anybody support it? Well, I'll tell you, Paula, I can tell you exactly why people support it. Because there is a thought, and it sounds good in theory, there is a thought that you pay taxes and you should get to choose where your tax dollars come from. Now, I'm not against this, but the problem is it's just being used for education. So nobody says to me, Adrienne, you pay taxes, where do you want taxes to go? I could say, well, I don't want taxes to go to the highways because I don't drive. I have my own garden. I compost. I don't use trash trucks. I don't use Amazon. I live off the land. I don't want to pay for highways. And people will be like, well, too bad, so sad, right? But there's some theory with education. Well, I don't have kids, or I don't have kids in public school. My kids go to private school, and I want the money. Well, what about the people that don't have kids? Do they just not pay any taxes? Do they get a credit back? Like, once you go down this slippery slope of a line, where do you end it? Because there are people that will say to me, you have sent your children to private school. You have no reason to be able to talk about public education. Well, that would mean that if you didn't have kids, you had no reason to talk about public education. So we had our state superintendent right now, Catherine Truitt, who I don't believe has children, but I don't think that disqualifies her from being an educator. Just like if you've never had knee surgery, it doesn't disqualify you from being an orthopedic surgeon, you know? So I think there's this thought that it's your tax money. But again, if you don't like public transportation, nobody gives you a voucher to get a car. You ride the cat bus or you don't ride a cat bus, and that's it. So what happens with the voucher money is that right now, if you go to private school, you pay, right? So then in North Carolina for a while, there was this thing that if you were in a public school and you wanted to apply for a voucher, you could. Well, no one was applying that was in public school. So North Carolina expanded it this past spring and said, well, you know what? You don't even have to go to public school to apply for a voucher. You can be in private school and you can go ahead and apply. And they did that because they're trying to get people to use the voucher. So it's not even like people are really trying to use the voucher. The government is trying to get them to use the voucher because they want public schools to falter, because they think in the end, and they're right, it would be cheaper to just have private groups, right? You know how when you go in a government office and you're like, I could run this better. That's what they're saying. And I would argue, well, then let's do that to you. Oh, God. Amos is in public school. So, Blair is going to private school this year. Yep, she is. And what you could say, well, why, if you love public school so much, why is she going to private school? Let's see. She is going to school with her brother. My two sons have been there. And she is going to have access to an education that she cannot get where we live. And much of that is due, if we lived in Raleigh or Wake County, she would have access to all these higher classes and amazing teachers. But we're so limited where we live. We have good teachers, but we don't have enough of them. We can't offer a ton of AP courses. But do I think the state of North Carolina should pay for her to go there? No, I think the state of North Carolina should pay to offer a great education to everybody. And I would still argue for that, no matter if I didn't have kids. You know, the state of North Carolina depends on offering a good education. And the difference in my kids going to private school versus voucher money is when my kids go to private school, it's just like my neighbor who has no kids, right? Or the retiree that moves to town. Like it's basically like you cancel yourself out. Voucher money is different because if I took voucher money for Blair to go to private school, that takes money, $6,000, $9,000 from my school system and goes to me. So that's very different. A voucher is very different in how it hurts the public school system. So if 200 people go to private school and don't take vouchers, and the school district has, let's say, 1.3 million a year, okay? If the 200 people all get $6,000, what's that? Is that 120,000? 200 people times 6, 12. What? How much is that? Maybe I should have stayed in public school. Well, it's a lot. 200 people. $200 times 6 is 1,200. 60 is 12. $120,000. No, it's more than that, isn't it? 6,012. No, it's more than that. I think it's 1.2 million. I don't know. It's a lot. So if that happens, that money goes to the private schools. So then you can see what happens. There's immediately less money. ECU only has 4 students enrolled in the special ed program. Can homeschoolers get vouchers? Well, yes, they can in a way. They can in a way. If you homeschool your children and they have a disability, you can apply for money that would pay for them to have opportunities to do other things. So yeah, 120,000, 1.2 million. We don't know. These people need an education over here, including myself. And people should be able to send their kids where they want to school. I would never want to live in a place where we said, you have to go to school where we say. I mean, I don't want to live in North Korea, right? But I think we have to recognize that public education is an octopus, and the tentacles reach far and wide into our community. So if we have less teachers here, right, then that's telling you is that we have less families that are living where we do, and they're moving out. And if the teachers are tired of teaching and the husbands work at a boat company or the hospital, well, then they're moving to bigger communities. And that is a problem, because if we don't have people living in our town, then what keeps it going, And you might say, well, you can rely on tourism, but at some point you have to have a base of a community to justify having a hospital or to having a home hardware store or pharmacy. You can't just have tourism, because then the tourists are going to come and see a shell of a downtown. So if you have a pharmacy, you need people to live in your town to use your pharmacy. If you lose your school system, which is employs the majority of people, the biggest employer in my community, if you lose the school system, then you know who goes next? The hospital. Anita just said, take money out of public education. You watch communities die, hospitals pull out, businesses move out because there are new schools for their families. So right now, let's say our hospital, a doctor is going to come to town, and the doctor has a first grade student. And she's going to say, well, tell me about the public school. And the public school, instead of saying, oh, we have these amazing teachers, we never have any, we don't lose people. And now they're going to have to say, well, we're really struggling to get teachers with a teaching degree. In the family, the doctor who lives in Cary, she's going to be like, wow, I'd love to live in a small town. I think this is wonderful. But people put their children's education first. And I can't afford to send my kids off to boarding school, but I want my child to have access to a licensed teacher. I mean, who doesn't? Everybody does. So they don't move there. And maybe they're there and they move away. I mean, it's a real problem. And I think sometimes people think, well, they're just crying wolf, the liberals, But I'm not liberal. I mean, but I recognize that education is the foundation of our state economy, because we're not going to have businesses or laborers or CEOs or CFOs that want to live in our community if there's not a good education system. And in order to have a good education system, we need to support the education system, which is not vouchers. It's paying teachers more and making sure that we give them insurance or health insurance for their lifetime after they retire. I mean, that was something we always did, and we got rid of that. I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem because at the end of the day, if we're not educating people, then they're going to be sitting their asses in prison. I mean, that's expensive. What, $38,000 a year? It's a lot more than, a year of public education. So I don't understand how people in government choose that. I wish I could ask somebody. I wonder who I could ask. I think I'd have to go up there and knock on doors all day. I'm gonna have to get those Ray-Bans that film you that nobody knows they're filming. I think I'm gonna get those and just do an all-day video with those Ray-Bans on. But it's gonna be more expensive. And then at that point, you're wasting money. So you're a Democrat, right? Anyway, technology is about to solve the education problem. Have the best master's, PhD teaching via technology with aids. Well, that's been happening a while. That's been happening a while. Exactly, Chris. And that I'm glad you said that because that, interestingly enough, is that people that are getting the vouchers. So if you took a voucher of $6,000 to go to a school that cost $50,000 a year, is that really helping people get a better education? No, it's helping rich people get a tax break, which is fine. I'd love a tax break, but call it what it is. It's a tax break, You can't figure out how to become a member. Kim, have you clicked the link that's in the poll? Why doesn't the government just put more resources in making public schools better? Well, Rebecca, ding, 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 you win question of the day. I have no freaking idea. That would make sense. That would make sense. So North Carolina is big this year. We have Josh Stein running against Mark Robinson. So I would just say, I would just look at the two people. Who do you want running a $32 billion budget? Do you want the person that has a degree in economics from an Ivy League school who has worked as an attorney general and has a lot of experience? Or do you want the man that, I don't think he finished college. He's filed bankruptcy, 3 times. He's been evicted. His wife has now been charged with owing $130,000 for money that she misappropriated from DHHS. So I'm not going to tell you what their political affiliations were. Who would you vote for? Which one? Well, you would immediately be like, I'm going to vote for that dude, Josh Stein. And then you're like, wait, Josh Stein's a Democrat. I don't like Democrats. I'm a Republican. So you're going to vote Republican for someone who basically is running for governor so they have a free place to live. Let's be honest. Just because he's a Republican, he doesn't pay taxes. I mean, when they asked him, why didn't you pay your taxes? He said, I'm not very good at math. I mean, I don't care. If he was a Democrat, I would be like, no, we are not voting for Mark Robbins. It doesn't matter to me what politic he is, Anyway. Well, it's not enough to pray Mark Robinson doesn't get elected. What is going to happen is people have to not vote for him. That is what is most important. Do not vote for him. Welcome, Cheryl. Look at this, getting some new tails on the tube, people. It comes down to voting and using your brain. I wish they didn't put an R or a D on the ballot. Wouldn't that be awesome? Hey, welcome, Lynn. Welcome, welcome. So last night I had this super thing. I don't know what the hell that was. Oh my gosh. And you know, you can also argue vouchers, we're giving state money to schools that don't have to do anything. They don't have to test, they don't have to have a curriculum, they don't have to have an attendance policy, they don't have to have licensed teachers, they don't have to do anything. Can you please turn on the donate membership button? Well, how do I do that? Is that even a possibility? I've never turned it on before, but I think it works.
Anna's gonna take me real quick
Where are you going?
to Starbucks.
To Starbucks? Oh, thank you, Sandy. Okay. I'm still learning about this myself. Blair has a friend she's newly driver's licensed, and they really like to go places. A lot. Google says you have to turn it on. Well, I think it's been on because I've never turned it on before. You need to activate the super chat button. Well, where is it? I don't see it. Maybe I have to activate it before I start the video because I don't see it. What's that? Chat filter. Oh, community moderation. Live chat is on. Participant mode. Oh, now I can click subscribers. Oh, that's good. I did just click it, so you have to be a subscriber to comment. I should do that every time. Well, I forgot to turn it on. This is new to me. I'm new. Now look, Kathy just sent $1.99. Darn it. So I didn't have to do anything. Kathy, you didn't need to send $1.09. She's just trying to prove a point that make me feel like I'm not as ridiculous. Do I need to be a subscriber anymore if I'm seeing this? Well, Karen, you're on Facebook. We're trying to get you over to Tails. Oh, there, George Ann did it too. George Ann. I love that name. Anyway. It's not a topic that people really like to talk about. I think they'd rather talk about like exercise or something. You do have to turn on the donate. Gift subscriptions does not appear to be. Well, how do I know how to do it? I'm sorry, but I can't do it while I'm on the video. When I go home, my friend Ann Dale is going to give me a YouTube tutorial, but I haven't gotten one yet, which is obvious. Blair does not have a permit. No. Oh, Kyla, thank you. First super on a live stream. That's Kyla's first super on a live stream. Can you tell if I'm on Facebook or the YouTube? You're on YouTube right now, Noel. But you would know because whatever app you go into your phone is where you are. The downside to subscriber only mode is you don't get new subscribers, but less stalkers. Really? But it's chat. It doesn't mean that why wouldn't you get new subscribers? Oh, thanks, Deborah. To me, you would make people be a subscriber because they want to talk. It's not that they can't watch it, right? You missed Chris's donation. Where is it? Oh, I did? Thank you, Chris. I don't know what happened. Thank you, Bonnie. Look there. Oh, thank you, Kathy. These people are coming out of the woodwork. A super. This is super. Maybe that's why it's called a super. Yeah, I still get new subscribers. Thank you, Pixie Sticks. See, I know a little something. Darn it. Anyway. She doesn't say hello. Jason's channel, I don't say hello to you. I'm saying hello to members. Can newly licensed drivers take minor passengers in the car? Do they have to wait 6 months? Yes, they can take one non-family member, which is funny to me because if I were newly licensed driver, I would be like, oh, these are all my sisters. I mean, I would have been working that. And they can't drive past 9. Hey, Patricia, welcome. I know I'm not a member yet, not from a lack of trying. You can't find the membership option. Sandy, the link is down in my poll. Hey, Randy, thank you. Lois Mayhag wants to join me on my video. And I'm not doing that. You can't join people on these videos. It's scurry. So anyway, there's another hurricane lurking in the distance. Does anybody else feel, this is what my friend Kate Swenson, she'll call me like every other day and start a sentence with this. Do you ever feel, which generally if you say that, other people feel that, but here's a problem I have. If it's subscribers only, how do non-subscribers get in? Not get in, Kathy, comment. Just comment. Not watch, comment. You can only comment if you're a subscriber. You can also do a video where only members can comment. Which is sort of smart. Yay. Well, I'm glad you're here, Lauren. You're enjoying. Yes, if you like YouTube and you've been a subscriber on Facebook and you don't mind missing the troller group, get your fanny over to YouTube. So there you go. Now, what was I saying? Oh, here are a few problems that I have. Just small problems. I have 4 children, which is fine. Giving them each attention, talking to them, working with them on, like, I have 3 teenagers right now and a 10-year-old with autism. I have a meeting for the 10-year-old this week about school. So I need to really focus on him. Well, then my middle 2, I need to focus on them. What classes are they taking? Who are their teachers? So I need to work on that. Then my oldest son's going to college. I'd like to kind of make sure he's in classes. That's 4 people to deal with their education. That's a lot. Not to mention, go to the grocery store, cook, make sure people have, you know, sheets and clothes and how much allowance should they get and making sure they clean their rooms up and they're taking out the trash. Doctor's appointments, they need to go to the dentist, they need to go to the orthodontist, Blair needs a new retainer. 2 of them need their wisdom teeth out. It's hard for me. I really struggle, and then I'm working. I really struggle with how do people get all these things done? It's a lot. You had 4 children. Well, I know, exactly. But now it's too late. I've got them. I didn't think about this at the time. I thought about tiny little people, you know? But if I had 2 children, I think it would, oh, that's the one thing. If you're on Facebook and you do these like weird symbols, you have effects I really like. It's a lot. Yeah. I can't figure it out. I think it would be hard for me if I had 2. I often think if I didn't need sleep, I would be fine because I could get all that stuff done in the middle of the night. This is why I had 1. Well, you were smart. Yeah, and 1 is not easy. Right, Lauren, if I just had Blair, I would be pouring all that attention into her. Yeah, an Uber driver. I didn't even remember that. That's hours every day driving people around. But then when they drive themselves, then talk about needing to work harder to pay for people's car insurance. Phew. Wah, wah, wah. Or as Amos says, wah, wah, wah. Well, that's good, Patty. You can stay over on Facebook, but do subscribe to YouTube. It's free. Yeah, it's a lot. It is a freaking lot. So today I cannot make any doctor's appointments or get anybody retainers or call about teachers. So I'm going to work on my edits and then I'm going to feel guilty. Like, should I take my family outside on the beach or do I stay in here and work? Guilt. Guilt is a very big thing. Yes, the children need you more now. I know. It's true, Judy. It's true. Oh, thank you, Kathy. subscribe and like this video. Yeah, it's a lot. Beach, said Kathy. It's a lot. Oh, Angela, I'm a single mom receiving no child support. My son got his braces off, had his wisdom teeth out, and I severely sprained my ankle. Oh, Angela, I'm sorry. I mean, there's a reason people don't get braces. It's because they're too expensive. And wisdom teeth, those aren't covered either. Darn it. Your TED Talk came up. Oh, thanks, Pixie Sticks. Everybody's voting for the beach. Oh, and then parents. 2 sets of parents you have to handle. One's texting me about what are we going to do for the birthday dinner. And somehow I'm in charge of planning the husband's birthday dinner. I already did a husband birthday dinner. Now we have another husband birthday dinner. And it's my 17-year-old's birthday. And he's going to invite people on Tuesday, which is his birthday. And then my parents, my dad, I'm sure, is dying to go to the swimming pool, or go to the beach with me. But then I go over there for like 3 hours with him, and I don't get to see anybody else. And then my friends here are like, oh, we haven't seen you. Well, there you go. Wah, wah, wah. Old Mom Sunday night tonight. Subscribers, I will let you know what time we're going on. I don't know yet. Y'all have a good Sunday. Glad y'all are here. Thanks everybody for joining my YouTube and my specials.